What's good? What it could be, what it should be, what it ain't, what it ain't, what it's not, what it's here. We're here for another episode of Wildcard. We're a little late. This is the first time doing this. I wish the game would have started earlier today, so we could have been a little bit more, prepared as far as like crowd wise, because it was a good game. It was a pretty good game.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a 1-point game, 24-23. I thought it was going to be it came close to being a little crazy on both sides actually. You know, when Norfolk came out the gate, it came out strong. Went up. Did they go up 2 touchdowns or just one?
2. It was 14-0.
Yeah. So it definitely looked like it was going to be all Norfolk at first, and then fam turned the tables, and the rest was history pretty much.
They had the potential to, as you would say, make it a hood classic if they chose not to go for 2.
Why are we going for 2? That's my biggest question. Why are we going for 2?
That and the play call was pretty questionable, in my opinion. Like, it was pretty, Kendall, there was 6 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
You pretty much handed FAMU the win after that. Like, there was no point in going for 2.
It wasn't. And we was kind of talking about it a little bit before we started. I think the only possible reason I could think that you go for 2 in that situation is that you kind of lose trust in your kicker. I think that's something that definitely happens with coaches, especially at the college level. And I mean, they had a fumble snap in one attempt, and then they had a block kick right before that. You may just lose faith in your kicker, and it may just be like, well, I can't trust you to do what I need you to do, so I might as well just go for 2, which is cool. That just don't seem like the situation to do it in.
Not with 6 minutes left in the game. 2 minutes, a minute, something like that. It's I just wasn't the biggest fan of going for it right then. And the play call was just very much off. I'm just not a fan of it at all. But nonetheless, we are here. How did you feel about the actual game outside of that one play call? How did you feel about what you saw from FAMU, what you saw from Norfolk State? What was your instant reaction?
If I'm a FAMU fan, I'm worried about the run defense. They look very rusty. They didn't look like they matched the physicality of Norfolk's offensive line. Now, granted, they had 6 in the box for most of the game. I mean, they play a 4-2, so they had 6 in the box for most of the game. And I think Jay and Tiffany, they brought it up as well on the broadcast. It made Norfolk's run game a lot more effective than I think it could have. So I would say that for FAM, their defensive struggles were very, very apparent, and I think if their offense didn't pick it up, that could have been the end of the game for them. Norfolk, I think they came out strong. You just got to finish. I mean, this is a problem that they had last season too, about not finishing games and losing close games. So really, it was kind of funny because both teams kind of had the same issues or some of the similar issues that they had last season, except FAMU's defense was a lot better last season than what they showed this in this game. So
FAMU's defensive front, as far as like the D line, isn't as big size wise as it was last year, in my opinion. Like at the D tackle position, they're not as like stuffy as you would, like your defensive tackles to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they struggle to stop the run in that aspect. And I also think, you're talking about, I think you brought the point before we got on here, they have 9 new players, right? I mean, they're returning 9 players from last year's team.
Yep.
You're talking about adding 24 FCS, or you're talking about adding 24 and 24 plus 8 is 32, correct?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, I was making sure. Doing that right. But you added 32 new players to the roster, and I'm assuming that all 32 of those players had some type of, the goal was for them to play right now. And I think that chemistry-wise, defensively is where they added the most new guys, and it kind of showed defensively, but they still managed to get the job done. They made the plays. Now, I don't think that Norfolk State, I really personally feel like Norfolk State played safe. They didn't really take many risks. They didn't take many opportunities to, once you got up 14-0, They didn't really put the kill shot down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think especially if you compare their risk taking to Fam beats them by a landslide. So yeah, I agree with you on it.
Yeah, I'm about to hold on, I'm about to turn this TV down. I'm getting I'm hearing Tiffany and Jay right now. And I can't deal with it.
Oh yeah, bro.
Hold it down for a second.
Gotcha. But yeah, what did y'all think? I mean, I know it's a little late of a stream, but what did y'all think about the game? That was I think it was a pretty good game, personally. Odom should be fired because what you was doing in the first half.
All right.
I agree with this. I agree 100%. I think when you have something that works, keep doing it. The thing that I can compare that to is last season with the Baltimore Ravens in the playoff game. When you're running the ball and things are working, keep doing that. Don't change it up just because, and then you end up losing the game for it, especially when you go up 14-0. That's even more ammunition for you to run the ball. But you get away from the run game a little bit, and now you see what happens. So yeah, I agree. They found a weakness in FAMU's defense, and they didn't exploit it in the second half. They just didn't. I don't know why, but they just stopped.
And I think when it comes to SWAC play, the SWAC, when you talk about teams like Jackson State, you talk about teams like Alabama State, you talk about the upper echelon of teams, the Alcorns, the teams like that, they're going to take advantage of that. Like, I think they're going to consistently expose. There was a lot of stuff that was put on film today that a lot of the SWAC coaches can take advantage of with fam. They're not as strong as they were last year. Last year, they were stifling up front. It was hard to run the ball on them. It was hard to move the ball on them. I think that, like I said, Norfolk State played very, very safe. Very safe. They didn't take any risks. They didn't put any pressure on the defense of FAMU to make any plays outside of running the football. And, even when you talk about running the football over and over, it's not really putting that much pressure on them because they can make one adjustment and, add somebody else in the box. And they didn't really have to do that because you kept running the ball.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously this is the first game of the season. We saw a lot of indications of that. Guys, I think two Norfolk players, they was throwing up. A lot of them was cramping and all of that type of stuff. So it's still an early game. I think this is a very raw and very initial type of analysis of FAM, especially since we're going to be talking about them a lot this year. But I just think that it wasn't necessarily a good look from their defense at all. I think their offense showed up a lot. Their offense looked really, really good once they started going. And we talked about him. Daniel Richardson, hey, man. Hey,
bro, he might – you said it before. He might take home 2 trophies, Offensive Player of the Year and Newcomer of the Year. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look this up. I think this is last year eligibility because he's playing football for a minute. But if it's not, the SWAC got somebody to look out for next year.
I mean, he once he got it going, he really showed that he could sling the rock. I think one of the things that was really interesting to me is that I at first I didn't think he was having that efficient of a game, but then I saw he was 9 for 15 at the time, and it was like, he's been pretty good so far.
He just started out awful.
Yeah. He definitely needed some time to heat up, and I think that's kind of natural. That's normal for the first game, but I think once he started going, he was airing the ball out. So I think he showed that he definitely should be the starting quarterback. I think he showed a lot of talent as well, even inside the pocket. We were talking about one of the plays where he basically pushed the dude off of him. Dude tried to hit his shoulder and then threw the ball. So yeah, he got some talent for sure. And I think this FAMU offense as a whole, showed up a lot as well. So
they're bringing back a lot of former guys from last year's team on their offense, especially at the running back position. Kelvin Dean Jr. is the head of the Snake, and he is one of the better backs. He might be the best back in the SWAC, but the fact that they don't give him the carries consistently. What?
I'll let you cook.
You're talking about y'all's running back. What's his name?
Herb Mulligan, bro.
Herb Mulligan. I'm sorry.
Herb.
Herb. Like herb.
Big Irv, bro.
Irv, like Irvin.
IRB.
Like okay, like curve, slur.
Come on,
Anyway,
dog.
like I was saying, and the only reason I'm saying that he might be the best is because he doesn't really get the same amount of carries as Irv. You know what I'm saying? Like FAMU switches their running backs out consistently. They don't rely on one back. Even last year, Terrell Jennings only got like maybe you're getting like 5 to 6 carries, 7 if you're rolling at FAMU or these teams that have loaded backfields. I think that's a good thing to have, a good problem to have when you have a lot of running backs because now you have the opportunity to keep guys fresh. But Daniel Richardson, oh my goodness, Kendall. I don't even want to say he's a dual threat, but he can move. He. How do I put this? He reminds me of Bryce Young in a way. Listen. Hear me out. He runs when he has to, but he doesn't put the ball in harm's way. He made the big plays when they need to be made, and he just like he game managed, but he played like a superstar.
I'll agree with you that he played a great game. I disagree with he doesn't put the ball in harm's way at all because there were a couple of plays where he did a couple of plays that he missed.
Yeah, sure.
Where his throws were pretty questionable. And I think if Norfolk, like he threw it into triple coverage, I think at one point in time.
On like the first drive of the game.
Yeah. So I mean, he had a couple of questionable throws, but I think overall, like you said, he definitely showed his talent, arm-wise for sure. But I think and I said this earlier, he's not fast. He's deceptively quick.
Deceptively quick, yeah.
Yeah. Like they ran a couple of RPO actions and he kept it. And I felt like he got out kind of quick, but he didn't have a whole lot of speed coming out. But
he's accurate though.
Yeah. I like I said, I think he had a pretty good game overall for sure.
I gotta say this too, and this isn't to discredit him. This may be giving the offensive coordinator credit for drawing up the plays. When he was pushing the ball out in the field, his wide receivers were just wide open. Like it wasn't like he was making a tough throw and the receiver had to make a catch over a defender. It was like the receivers. It was almost like there was a busted coverage in the secondary. Like they're just wide open.
And I think that is also. That's partly due to personnel, and I think it's also due to scheme. So in one of his touchdowns, I can't remember exactly which one it was, but in one of his touchdown throws, the receiver gave the corner a double move. And after he gave him the double move, he ain't had no safety help. So he was burnt, like he was cooked.
Yeah.
And that type of stuff, that, like I said, that's on personnel, but I think it's also on scheme. You don't got no safety help. All it's going to take is a double move, and then, if you stumble or whatever, it's over with. So you hearing the band. So I think they'll see better secondary competition in the SWAC.
They'll see better defense as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. But I think secondary wise, with Jackson States and Alabama States and all of those different teams, I don't think that they're going to be able to do what they did to Norfolk State from a secondary standpoint to SWAC opponents as much.
It felt like their receivers were just outright better than their DBs.
Yeah, sometimes that's the case.
Yeah, it wasn't even necessarily the talent along with the scheme was just like it was clockwork. Mm-hmm. They started out slow. It almost felt like the Celebration Bowl all over again. The way it was like, oh Lord, this is about to be a blowout. And then halfway through the first quarter, now they dinking and dunking and they're moving the ball up the field. And they're not making splash plays. It kind of worries me when teams come out and they make a lot of splash plays because the reality is splash plays aren't always going to be available. They know how to methodically move the ball up and down the field, which is something that works in the SWAC. We saw Jackson State when they had Shador. They could beat you deep because they had the deep threats. But what did Shador do great? He took what the defense gave him. It was never Shador was not often throw for a 400-yard game where he had, 20 pass attempts. Usually when Shador had 400 yards, Shador had 35 pass attempts, 40 pass attempts, 45 pass attempts. It was very, very seldom that you're going to see like a Tua Tagovailoa game where he got 3 receivers with 150 receiving yards.
And I think one thing as a defense that can be very tough is when you have a quarterback that is throwing those short passes, you kind of get complacent a little bit, and then it opens the room for a deep ball. That happens, somewhat often, I think, especially in the college game, and it can really hurt you, for the rest of the game. But I wanted to look at these comments real quick. This one, as someone that really enjoys like these Swac versus Meac competitions, just because of the difference in styles of play, I think it's really interesting because I don't know if Swac teams are really going to exploit FAMU's defensive struggles as much as a Norfolk State would. I just don't, because the Swac is a little bit more of a flashy type of play style, where Meac is really kind of cutthroat and just run
Physical.
through you. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And one thing about Khalil, he makes a lot of NFL comparisons to a lot of different quarterbacks.
We're not going to be specific on all of them.
Yeah. So that's how he is. But yeah, I definitely thought that he had a couple of throws that definitely should have been picked off. And like I said, I think North Carolina State, like you said, North Carolina State's DBs definitely got caught looking in the backfield. Norfolk State, my fault. Norfolk State's DBs definitely got caught looking in the backfield, and you got to have eye discipline when you're playing quarterbacks that can air the ball out. So that's definitely something I heard them for sure.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the fact that I don't feel like Norfolk State gave their playmakers a chance to make plays. Like, their receivers made plays. That last catch when they got in the red zone, that was a great play great play made by their DB. I mean, by their receiver.
Yeah.
You have to give your guys an opportunity to let your playmakers make plays. That's what they're there for. That's what your receivers are there for. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't even know if Norfolk State threw the ball 10 times in the first quarter or in the first half of that game. They were so heavy on running the ball. I'm like, okay, y'all run the ball so much. If you even think about throwing or even make it look like you about to throw the ball, you got to beat. That's what happened on that last pass interference play. The DB was out of position. You didn't even give us a chance. I'm talking about how off FAMU's defensive front is, like their defensive tackles and their linebackers. But we didn't even have opportunity to see if their secondary was good or not because of the fact that they didn't get tested.
That's true, and I think JJ Oliver just brought up a great point. They didn't have their all conference QB, so I think in that sense you saw a backup quarterback doing an okay job of leading his team. I don't think that you saw exactly what you would have seen with their starting quarterback. Now, I personally don't know, how good their starting quarterback is, but for him to be all conference, I'm guessing he's, a pretty good quarterback. So I think that's something to put into consideration as well. Like I said, this is the first game of the season, so a lot of this stuff that we're gonna talk about is gonna change. Especially when Norfolk State gets their QB back. As FAM kind of gets settled in and everything, we're going to see some different stuff. But as far as this game, yeah, I think FAMU just outplayed them, especially down the stretch.
Before I could forget, thank you guys for tuning in. We know it's pretty late at night. We're going to try to give you all give you all these live post-game reactions as much as we can. We're busy nowadays, but we still know who got us in that position we're in right now. I want to talk about this comment right here, Kendall. Eddie Rob run the ball. That's something that we know about Coach Rob. Coach Rob is his one to run the ball since day one that he's arrived at ASU. This year we have a really, really deep running back core. So that's definitely going to be something. It's going to be great. Kendall, I'm excited for SWAC football this year. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, it's the most parity I think we've had in a long time. Because I think last year it was like FAMU was just we kind of knew what the deal was. Like, Jeremy Musa, by default, was kind of the best quarterback available that was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But as the season went on, we saw FAMU was very vulnerable as well. And even when it came to ASU, we had the opportunity to beat them last year. And this year, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I have looked at y'all's schedule. Y'all got FAMU coming to the vet.
So FAMU actually has a really tough middle of the season schedule. They go to Alabama State, and then they got a bye, and then after that bye, they go to Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
So I think them having a week 0 game like this, I think really helps them out because they're gonna need to be in end of season form when they go to both of those stadiums.
If they play like they did today, they're getting beat.
Yeah, because I was like I said, I believe that both teams' run games is probably going to be a lot better than Norfolk State's run game is going to be by the end of the season. So
absolutely,
yeah, I would say that FAMU definitely has to get their defensive front together. If they're going to run 4-2 against a heavy run team, then their secondary is going to have to do a better job of tackling because they whiffed on a lot of tackles as well. So I think that they're going to have to come with it as a whole, as a collective for the defense to have a good run defense overall. But if they don't, then I think we're going to see more of this for sure.
And I think more SWAC schools. I think SWAC schools have better offenses than the Meac schools. At least more dynamic offenses, I should say.
I think you'll also see more versatility. And like we said, Norfolk didn't have their all conference QB, but I think overall, when you look at the top teams in the SWAC, especially from last year and what's projected to be the top teams of the SWAC this year, they have a lot more versatility when it comes to running and passing. And I think that's going to help them overall catching FAM slipping when it comes to their defense.
So I want to pull some up real quick. Pull up these stats. Let's see. Okay, good. Like, Kendall, you're talking about you only threw the ball 9 times.
Yep.
But look at his yardage. I know I keep bringing this up, but if you would have continued to test their defense, he might have Jalen Daniels would have finished with more passing yards than Daniel Richardson, potentially. At the rate he was on, I should say.
I can see that, but I mean, I think it's also something of note for an offense that had Kevin King going so quick. I mean, he had 100 plus yards in the first quarter.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when you got a running back that's going like that, I think that you got to feed him. I think, like I said, they found a weakness in FAM's defense by rushing the ball. So I'm not mad at them for doing that. But yeah, I agree with you. Overall, you got to throw the ball more than 9 times, especially if you have a FAM defense that probably is banking on you running the ball. They ran the ball on 3rd and long. They ran the ball on 3rd and short. They ran the ball at any level, and they succeeded for the most part. So that pass has got to be open at some point. And I think you got to exploit it more than 9 times, 7 times, actually.
Now, I have to ask you a question. When it comes to FAMU and this upcoming season and, having as many transfer players as they did, as we always say, the transfer portal giveth and it taketh.
Yep.
Do you feel like with all the new turnover and some of the stuff that's going on at FAMU, we won't get into the specifics of that could impact them moving forward this year? And to what extent?
I think it could, but as far as right now in season, I don't think it will. The reason why I say I think it could is because obviously when there's stuff going on in the outside of the team, that can weigh on it. That can weigh on the team going through the season. But ultimately, I think if you're a FAM and you're looking at what you got right now, you have by all intents and purposes, the first game, you have a talented team. When you have a talented team, you can kind of block out the noise a little bit. And I think that'll be some of the evaluation of the coach that they have. Can you get your guys to focus on what's going on in-house versus what's going on outside? If you can get them to hone in and focus, that's the making of a great head coach.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a great first win for him as head coach of FAMU. I think he managed the game well as far as the X's and O's of it. They looked offensively. He showed that he can make adjustments. Right, fell behind early, you punched right back, and then from there on, it felt like it was after that first quarter. Can do it felt like it was FAMU's win. Like it was pretty much set in stone. Yeah, Norfolk had a couple scares, but like I told you before, if Kelvin Dean doesn't fumble that ball on the 30-yard line, FAMU's win this game by 2 scores, maybe 3.
That's true, but I also think Norfolk didn't take advantage of a lot of situations that they could have as well. And I think when you don't take advantage of those situations, as a team, I think FAM is definitely going to be happy about this win. I think that the coaching staff is going to be happy. The players are going to be happy that they got the coaching staff their first dub. But ultimately, you can't make those mistakes against every team because some teams are definitely going to make you pay. And you don't want to get complacent in making those mistakes. And then once you play a team that's not going to allow you to get off scot-free making those mistakes, then you're going to have a problem.
Talk about this comment right here. As a former coach, none of the outside stuff bothers the team unless it directly affects you. The coaching stuff back in December, yeah, the recent firings into it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that as a team, I don't think they're worried about who the athletic director is, unless you have. I mean, I can't speak to what their relationship with their athletic director might have been as an athlete, but for the better part, it's almost like this a student's relationship with the president of the university. Yeah, some of them have one, but ultimately, it's not like you know whoever the president is affects me directly. I mean, it does, but if we get a new president tomorrow, as a student, from a student's perspective, you don't really care. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I think timing is everything. Now that we're in season, I don't really think it affects them as much.
Yeah.
If this was like JJ said, if this was in December or January, then yeah, definitely. But now it's kind of like, all right, we're in season. We are trying to repeat as champions. Like, let's focus on what we got to focus on. But what he said about Norfolk, I touched on this earlier as well. Late game execution. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watched those Norfolk games that they blew those or they had those single digit losses, but late game execution is everything. And for you to lose another game in which you were up 14-0 and you lost by 1 because you decided to make a questionable decision and kick and go for 2 when you should have just kicked the field goal, I think we're seeing why they had issues last year as well. So I think late game execution is going to be something that Norfolk State has to clean up if they're trying to win a Meac. I mean, that's something that every team has to do, especially because you're going to have some close games where you have to have the other team.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Kendall, I want to ask you a little bit about what's going on. You excited for next week, your first game in the Vet?
So the first game isn't actually in the Vet.
Oh, it's not in the Vet. The week after, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they play ULM at ULM. That's gonna be my first time in ULM, so I'm excited for that. My first road to glory. I was the starting running back for ULM. And, I got him to a bowl game, and I ended off my career with him. So it'll be good to finally go in there and see what it's all about. But man, I'm really excited to see some Jackson State football. I'm excited to see it up close. Like you said, being in the Vet, I'm really, really looking forward to that. I know that's going to be a great thing. And, I'm looking forward to a great season, man.
Absolutely. Wish I could go to Miami, but I'll be here. But it's okay. I'm here. I'm with volleyball, man. I can't be mad being stuck with Coach White and the girls.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun year, I think. I'm ramping up, getting ready for, like you said, volleyball. Volleyball started their season yesterday, I believe. Cross country starts, pretty soon. And I'm looking forward to like you said, football starting and everything. So it's looking like it's gonna be a pretty good year. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, sometimes I know people have asked me around, so when y'all recording? When y'all recording our next episode? We had BuzzFest last Saturday. The whole time I had like 3 people say, when y'all recording? Y'all done? Y'all no, y'all. We working.
I missed 2 weeks of Throwback Thursday, and people think we done. That's crazy. Oh man, man.
I was up there before them, but and things happen, man. Things happen. It was an unfortunate situation.
Jeez.
It was unfortunate. Oh man, things happen. Things happen, and it happened at the most inconvenient times for sure. But
Yeah, 100%.
nonetheless, in Coach White fashion, they showed up. They played hard.
That's the most important thing, shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I think we're still trying to get the feel of how we're gonna do week to week recordings and stuff like that. Because I mean, for all intents and purposes, it seemed like people liking the Throwback Thursdays. I mean, I can't say, you know, the last couple episodes been hits, been bangers, but Throwback Thursday.
Kendall, I think the people like the ones that the players that we don't really like. They were great players, but like Devontae Kinsade, I think I'm saying his name correctly.
Hey, bro.
Kincaid.
Sade is crazy.
I think it's Kincaid.
Bro, it's Kincaid.
Kincaid, okay. Versus Walter Payton. People remember Walter Payton for sure. But that's when you talk about Devontae Kincaid, that's
just gonna keep saying the man name wrong.
Kincaid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But no, we see Walter Payton highlights. You can go on NFL Network and see them all the time. But
his college highlights is like in a vault though, bro.
That's true.
But
you gotta think about it from especially when you talk about like the powerhouse that Grambling is.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Look, listen. I'm working on my enunciations.
Oh, you're a communication major, bro. You got to lock in.
I'm not a communication major no more, bro. I'm a communication graduate.
That's even worse. You got to lock in.
Hey man, it's what it is.
Kincaid is crazy.
Kinsade.
But nah, I agree with you. I think it was. I don't know, bro. Like I'm trying to fill everything out. I'm trying to, hear from certain people, but certain people ain't really saying much in the comments.
Well, they're here. Why don't you ask them now?
I mean, who do y'all want to see for Throwback Thursday? I mean, if I can find them, I'll do it. I definitely can.
You might have to go through some of those Jackson State files, or maybe even call up Alcorn a few times in Mississippi Valley to find. I would love to see Jerry Rice college highlights.
Shoot, I would too. I would too.
Those might be somewhere in a vault.
Yeah, it's not like and I said this on one of the episodes. HBCU highlights are really, really hard to find.
Sure.
Especially with how far you might go back. And I'm not just talking like 10 years. Like I'm talking like even 5 years is hard to find to an extent. And the crazy part is we was talking about Tyrann Mathieu. We was looking at some of his highlights. Bro, it'd be hard. You'd be hard pressed to find some highlights of HBCU player from that time.
Yeah, so, for sure.
It's a process. It's definitely something that I'm working on for sure. I want to continue to do it because I think it helps me too. Because I mean, a lot of these guys I didn't actually see play. A lot of these guys, it's something that I'm interested in as well. So that's why I started it. That's what I want to keep doing. But Robert Kent, I'll keep that one in mind. I'll put that one on the list.
Man, I stumbled across some Isaiah Crowell highlights the other day. Bro, he was a dog. Like he was an absolute dog. And I also ran into some there was a story time. It's something that we also want to start doing as well, Kendall, at some point. It's like doing stories about what happened to X, Y, and Z, when, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. So man, Isaiah Crowell was a dog. That was a great time to be ASU.
I'm sorry, bro, but these two comments kind of got me. 2001 Jackson State versus Bama State, 61-58.
I might have to. Was that an ASU home game or was that Jackson State? Because if it's an ASU home game, I might be able to find that in archives.
I might have to call on Rob J.
Yeah,
for that second game.
Sure.
I mean, if it's at Jackson State, I might have to call on Rob
or call on Walt. Those are two people that I know that they keep a camera wherever they go, man.
Oh yeah, Rob J put in work. That man is a whole encyclopedia.
JSU homecoming. You better
Oh,
find that. You
over
better
with,
find that. You
over
better
with,
find that. We gotta react to
over
that.
with.
We can react that together because I never heard no 60, 61, 58. That's
I
you
ain't
realize
seen,
how unheard of that is in the SWAC today.
respectfully, I ain't seen Bama State put up 61 points.
You know, I'm not gonna take no shots
In-
at you at Jackson State, but okay.
I mean, bro, that's still the alma mater. But I'm just saying, we haven't seen Bama State put up like that many points.
I'm gonna be honest. It's not many SWAC basketball teams putting up 61 points.
In fact, that's a basketball score for real.
Yeah.
That's actually a basketball score. But nah, Robert.
Oh, I saw that. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackson State homecoming. Bro, how do you feel about us scheduling FAMU this year? I'm saying us as a Bama State, like for homecoming.
I mean, I think when you think of the excitement of it, I think it's going to be a very exciting game. I think, what was that?
2022.
Yeah, 2 years ago when you had Jackson State, when we had Jackson State there, it was a big game. Like it felt like a big game, and I think that's what you want from a homecoming game. You don't want it to feel like, okay, like we're going to smack this team by this much or that much. That's going to be a primetime game. So
Now I have seen this. I think I've seen clips of it. I haven't found the full game, but it's so hard. Like Kendall said, even when you talk about going to archives to find games like this, sometimes it's either they have part of the game or not the full game or certain highlights, or it's hard to come about. But I found a lot of games recently where Coach Robinson was commentating the game, doing play by play, and he showed me his demo reel back from when he was applying to ESPN. Man,
it was legit. Had to be.
nah, he was at ESPN. He was basically doing. I think he called a game with Jay Walker too. He's do kind of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty. Coach Robinson, like we always say, man, that might be the most talented human being I've ever met in my life.
Man of many talent.
You talk about riding bikes, coaching the football team, played in the Super Bowl, played in the NFL, won an HBCU championship, was an all-time, was a scholar. Like I can just go on and on. Shout out to Coach Robinson, man. Hopefully he watching.
Why did you say riding a bike is the first thing?
Bro, because he said he wanted to. Bro, listen.
Bro, what?
He said that he wanted to be. What's the big? Is it not Wimbledon? What's the big cycling thing?
Or the Tour de France.
Tour de France. He said he wanted to be in that. Back when he was not first born, but when he was growing up, he wanted to do that. So.
Oh yeah, this sounds like a hood classic. Both of these two, the Magic City Classic in '98, and then
Jesus is real.
JSU versus Bama State. Sound like a hood classic. We definitely gotta check these out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my granddad asked about you today, man. He told me to tell you thinking about you, man.
Oh man, appreciate it, Gramps. Miss you, Gramps. I haven't seen. Man, when the last time did I see him? Did I see him for graduation?
No, I don't think so.
Dang, yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I think I heard of Jimmy Holyfield. Yeah, I heard of him. I have heard of him. 64 to 68. Okay. Yeah, I gotta ask some people about it.
Man, do you realize how big this podcast would have been if we had been born in the 50s and got to see all the SWAC games? Like from then up to now.
Do you think that we really would have been podcasting if we was born in the 50s?
Nah, I can't even say we would be here right now, honestly.
Do you know how old we would be?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
not saying that we would just be like done, but I don't really think we would be in the podcast like that.
Oh nah. Once I get about that cross that 50 mark, that 50th anniversary, I'm through with the podcasting game, man. I'm retiring.
The 50th anniversary of your birth?
Yeah, man. I'm done. I'm retired from the media world when I turn 50. Go spend some time with my kids and my grandkids.
You lost me.
Nah, I'm not retired at 50. I'm retired about 55.
I love it too much.
I mean, you said that now, but 50s, a lot can happen between now and 50.
That's true.
what's that? 30-some years,
Yeah,
20-some years, something like that.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, but hey, some of our mentors are still going at this age. I mean, Shannon Sharp, 57, 56.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna be referred to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully, we're still doing this. I don't know if Silver does podcast at 50.
That'd be hard.
Yeah,
50th, well, nah, it wouldn't be the 50th anniversary.
yeah.
30, something like that.
But
Yeah, man.
anything else we got to talk about?
You got AC now, right? You got your AC fixed, right?
Yeah, I'm good for now. I know yours is out.
Oh yeah, I'm rocking with 80 degrees right now.
And man, I was at 91 a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Rough.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This adult life, it come with a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Man, I had a volleyball photo shoot I was supposed to be doing last weekend. Car broke down. Car ain't even want to start actually.
Did you get that fixed?
Yeah.
How much it cost you?
Altogether, 120. I think.
Oh, it ain't bad. It could have been worse.
I needed a new battery, and I had to get the corrosion cleaned off of it. So
Like a Sprite for that. Pour some Sprite on it.
Bro, I didn't know the dude ain't clean it though. Like I needed a new battery regardless. I thought the dude would have cleaned it off, but he didn't. So yeah. it was what it was though. But yeah, man, it's a lot of ups and downs.
It's part of the game though, man. It's part of the game.
I'm having fun. The old saying goes, when you having fun, it don't feel like work. And right now it don't really feel like work. I'm enjoying, taking care of these athletes. Got a lot of stuff coming for the athletes and coaches, and I'm really excited for everything that's about to happen.
It's about to be a sprint. It's about to be a sprint starting Saturday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really before that, to be honest.
Thursday, them bright lights come on. Football team.
Y'all forgot y'all playing on Thursday.
Yeah.
So is Colorado. So I'll be watching them, not y'all.
Okay. You really
but I'm choosing.
You ain't have to say that though. You know what I mean?
Nah, I was just saying, bro.
Yeah, I know. For sure.
You gonna watch this on Sunday? Next Sunday?
You said what?
You gonna watch this on Sunday?
Bro, I'm gonna be watching all Swac games, bro.
Oh, y'all gonna be? Well, we're the only game on Sunday.
Okay, well, yeah.
Are y'all on ESPN or ESPN Plus?
I want to say
you don't even know, man. You know right now.
I want to say that's an ESPN game because it's on a Thursday.
Yeah, but if Dion's gonna be in, I know they're not gonna let y'all play at the same time as Dion.
Brother, I don't care.
I'm just saying it'll be easier for me to watch it. I don't know about paying for ESPN Plus.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing it.
Well, you'll be there, so I mean,
I'm talking about in general.
Oh yeah, I'm not paying for that stuff.
Yeah, nah, I'm straight. I'm good on it. But yeah, looking forward to it, man. We got to do it big for Bama State versus Jackson State. We got to do it big, bro.
Hey man, if you're gonna be here Friday night, you come over. We could do a show in here.
Hey gang, that might be the way it goes.
Unless y'all do well, no, y'all not doing no day trip.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah,
y'all not doing no day trip because we didn't do a day trip when we went to Jackson last year.
Oh yeah, no, we ain't doing nothing. No sir.
No.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun
for sure.
I hate you can't come to We Play FAMU. I know how much you love FAMU.
Hey man.
Well, you got to see them one time they came here. That was fun. That was an intense game.
Yeah,
that was an intense game, and they traveled well too. But you get to see a big game there. That would be the first time Jackson and FAMU have played at a home and home site since FAMU had been in the Swac what 3-4 years now.
Yep.
So that might be the first time in a while. Now I think about it because every other game was playing in Miami for Orange Blossom Classic. This is different seeing the Orange Blossom Classic, and it's not FAMU and Jackson though.
Yep. One time.
Somebody want to send me a plane ticket to get to Miami after this.
Oh, you got work to do, man. You got work to do.
I got work this Saturday, but I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be kicked up, have me some food, cook me some food. Or I sit back watching the game, watching my Hornets get the win.
You feeling good about yourself now, huh, bro? You showing off the muscles and everything.
Bro, I just been in the gym now, man. Shout out Dr. Cable for giving me. This is a hard thing. Hard. You got your Jackson State gear. You just wearing Nike right now. I think it's Nike.
It's definitely not.
I thought the Nike logo was at the bottom.
Nope. No switch on this one.
Oh, North Face. Okay. Gotcha. Word.
Washing clothes right now, so
I get it. Does it feel like a Sunday to you?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I thought it was just me.
I mean, shoot, I gotta work FanFest tomorrow anyway, so
You have fun with that. I don't envy you at all.
basically is. Yeah.
Don't envy you at all. All right, y'all. That's all the time we got for today's episode. Appreciate y'all staying with us this late. I know it's a little past the time that we've ever done this. I don't think we ever gone this late in my life. But appreciate the 16, 17 people, 18 people that have joined. Make sure y'all go to the Cash App. Like, comment, subscribe. And we'll see y'all next time. Said W stream.
W stream, yeah. Yeah, W stream. Bro, did he just not in the stream? Okay. Bye, y'all.